Welcome to another episode of This Is Not That Podcast. I am your host, Barack Obama, aka Siwa Obama, Uncle Y'all Paskim Deuce.
Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your girl, Shirley Dorr.
Giggle, giggle.
And this is Not That Podcast.
This is not that podcast.
Not the podcast you thought it was.
The one that you thought this podcast was, it's not.
It's not. Tonight's
Okay.
Conversations, right? That's what they thought this was.
Ooh, child, you name dropping. We're going to get canceled. Look, I'm trying not to get canceled for
If
y'all.
tonight's Conversations did not get canceled, we are not going to get canceled. They literally told people that just because he likes his girlfriend, it doesn't mean he don't like nobody else.
No, it just, he can like you
But-
and not like his girlfriend,
Right.
but he not gonna leave her for you.
Right, so that didn't get them canceled.
And first of all, sis, I don't like that for you. I want you to be delusional, and I want you to be like, that is my man.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh.
And if he likes you more than he likes his girl, he gonna leave her, and if he don't, he won't.
That reminds me of Delusion and Entrepreneurship.
I'm also delusional in my entrepreneurship.
Unlock your potential, girl.
Come on.
Come on.
All right.
Come on.
Your business is the best business.
It is the best. Okay? The best business ever.
Let me put a comb over. The best business of
The best one, okay? You are the best beauty influencer. You are the best marketer, social media marketer. You are the best, okay? In everything that you do. All right? Somebody was delusional enough to be president. You hear that?
Somebody was delusional enough to be president.
You hear that?
Delusional enough.
And you think you can't?
A businessman was delusional enough to think that he could be president. And you know what he did? He became president.
That's all.
And now he's running again, even though he's being pressed charges, even though they want him in jail
You can be indicted 3 times and still run for president.
for
okay?
a second time, third time.
This is the third one.
This is the first time I've seen a president run a third time.
with 3 pending felonies. Okay? So you can do it
And a
too.
ban from Twitter and launched his own app. Come on. Delusion.
Don't play with it.
Don't play with it.
Don't play with
so
it.
I looked up things about businesses to give people a little backstory on like what business is like.
Okay.
So this conversation kind of stemmed from when Ciroc and I were having like a personal conversation about where you are and like how you feel about business. And I shared that although it looks like I'm this like long-term running successful black business, I am still a young business. My business is a baby and we've just done a lot being a baby. But there are some things that I practice that got me to the point where I am today. I never used to think that I was a successful black business until this lady that was in her 60s was like, I'll never forget the day. I was like, we should charge $85 for a conference. And she was like, small business can't afford an $85 conference. I was like, what do you mean a small business can't afford an $85 conference? That's insanity to me. $85 won't scratch a surface for a small business. And she's like, not everybody has a successful black business like you do. And I was like, you think I have a successful business?
Look where her mind went.
Wow, okay, because I can afford $85. I'm successful.
Yeah.
Ooh. So since I'm successful now, I'm going to be giving y'all some tips because, you know, you talk to a successful black-owned business. Okay, apparently I can afford $85.
Deal.
Okay. So we're going to start off with where black businesses are now.
Okay.
Okay, so 2020 came and swept black businesses under the rug. It was like, we gonna get y'all blow for blow for blow, and we gonna shut all y'all down.
Actually, no. I think a lot of black businesses were scared to get that PPP loan because they think that free money is a trap.
That's exactly what it said. 37% of black businesses were afraid to take startup loans.
Yeah.
So, white people, I know you said we don't see color.
My God.
I know you say you don't see color, but this is what the 2020 census classified them as. And what am I supposed to do? The census see y'all as black and white.
Non-color.
No, because Hispanics have a different rate. So it's not people of non-color.
You can say Hispanic. You can't say people.
No,
of non-color.
white and Hispanics are two different people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Hispanics are people of color. So you could say Hispanics.
So I can say non-people of color?
Yeah, the whites.
Okay.
The lack of melanin.
Melanin. So white people were maxing out them PPP loans because they knew it was going to be forgiven. They were getting millions of dollars. You had senators getting PPP loans, even though they worked for the government to start businesses. And black people were like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. I don't know what to do. They're going to make me pay a lot of money. And the scammers were just like,
let's get it. And a lot of the scammers got away with it.
I'm going to buy me a yacht. And a Bugatti.
What did Baby Blue do with his? Because I was like, you could have like dropped an album. You know, you could have did a little studio time, like a free studio time, and just charge it or something like that. You really, what he did with his money?
I think he got a Bugatti. He got cars. And I'm so sorry they caught him, but So according to statistics from the census in 2020. Or 2020 to 2021, 52 of black or African American businesses were between the ages of 35 to 54. So that means COVID came, people between the ages of 35 and 54 were like, okay, this is our best time for us to put money into a business, and they started a business. Despite that, only 4% of those startups, not these businesses, not the 52% businesses, but 4% of startups were founded by black women. So although there was this huge thing where they were like, black women are the most educated women because, we're pursuing education at a higher amount, we still don't actually get where we need to go because there's still, there's that stigma that like black women, if you think about the totem pole, black women are literally the dirt.
I think it's black women probably don't take as much risk. Because they have a family to take care of.
And black women are still dependent. They're not necessarily dependent on another person. People are still dependent on black women. Yeah. Like the cousin Toto is still pursuing, still asking you to do things for you. Your mama, your auntie, your grandma, money, everything is you. Stuff. And so you don't have the option to make risk.
You have to be secure for you to do what you need to do. And I feel that because I do too. I don't got no kids or nothing, but imagine if I had kids. Like, I wouldn't be able to take as much risk as I do now.
Right. So in 2020, which is maybe like 6 months of Biden's presidency, Biden had this like requirement for larger companies and larger corporations to take money and invest it in DEI initiatives. And so they're supposed to do...
What is DEI for the people that are listening?
So that's diversity and inclusion. So they had to come up with diversity and inclusion opportunities for black businesses, black individuals, hiring, whether it's hiring, supporting, sponsoring, or even pursuing for government contracts. And so he had this big rule that like if you had a large business, you had to put into a minority business, a veteran owned business, a disadvantaged business, and a small business. Don't pursue nobody else. We need to pour into these specific economic sectors according. So with them doing that, we found it that businesses owned by black women earned less than businesses run by any other woman. So despite there being this thing where they're like, we're supporting minority-owned businesses, which usually means women-owned businesses who are black, despite there being a huge influx of support and funding and pouring into them, even venture capitalists, all of that, they still made less than all of the other counterparts. We're talking men, women, white women, Hispanic women, doesn't matter. Black women were still making less despite the fact that there are more money being poured and funneled into their business.
Did it say why? Because, I feel like a lot of black women refuse to be delusional.
They're never going to be able to tell us the why because then they would be able to systemically solve the problem.
Ah, okay.
But they acknowledge that,
listen,
is a problem.
I think I'm gonna tell you what it is right now. You guys are not asking for enough. Okay, you know how the saying is, shoot for the moon, even if you miss, you'll land upon the stars. Y'all are shooting for like just where the planes are or something. You know what I mean? Like
One thing I know about white people,
the top hill at Tallahassee.
Yeah,
like that's where y'all aiming at, and I want y'all to aim a little bit more delusion. Like I want y'all to ask for billions of dollars.
Right. So that's exactly what I did when I founded my business. When I started my business, I was just like, last year, I sat down and I was like, you know, I started to feel very emotionally insecure. I was experiencing a lot of loss, and it just reminded me of like where I was 3 years ago. And I was like, I don't want to ever be in the place that I was 3 years ago. I'd love to just stay at this peace, this space of peace, serenity. Like, you know, I just graduated. I was feeling a little secure. Mm-hmm. And I felt like my security was being stripped away from me, and it took a lot for me to get there. And I just woke up like, you know, usually people make decisions when it comes to starting a business or going full time in their business. Usually they're like strategic. And I just woke up and I was like, dog, I don't love it here.
Are you guys strategic? I feel like I the way that I be starting businesses, I be waking up and I be like, I like doing this. Do y'all want to buy it?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
I either did that or like when I did taxes, I was doing a tax at the tax office, and when I saw them charging y'all a crazy amount, the way they be charging y'all a crazy amount, I said, I can charge y'all less and make more money. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, I just literally said, oh, I don't want to do this anymore, so I'm gonna go full time in my business. I had no idea what the heck I was doing. Literally, I said I'm gonna quit, and I quit. I just did it. And then I was like, you got 6 months of savings. You're going to have to figure out in 6 months how to replace your income in 6 months.
Yeah, but
and
I mean,
boy, was that hard.
I hear you, but how many of y'all got 6 months saved up?
And this is after COVID, though. I learned from COVID. COVID taught me that I needed a 6 month savings.
I would.
Also, if you didn't save during COVID and you had a job,
I didn't save because I had to keep going to work. And I still had to buy food at work. I don't realize how much money that you spend going to work until you work from home.
When you work from home, you're like, no gas, no food. You work, you cook, you can cook at home.
Yeah, I literally can do all of that stuff at home. But then when they said, like, for example, they said we went from 2 days to 3 days in the office. When I noticed that I had to buy food, I had gas to and from work, like, I have to have more clothes.
Yeah, you have to buy. That is so crazy. I literally wiped my closet of professional clothes because...
you gotta buy more clothes because you're there more often. Like, that's more coffee. I buy coffee. My coffee $10.
Oh, and you guys have to do coworker bonding activities, like going to happy hours and stuff.
Oh well, no, I like my coworkers, y'all. I love my coworkers. There's not a white one in sight. A non-color one in sight. Like, we're so diverse. I love them. We're Asian. There's a Guyanese. There's Spanish. There's black.
But don't you spend money having to spend time with them?
But I love them. Like, it's kind of like hanging out with my friends. I haven't loved my coworkers in a long time.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
So I will go to. They planned a happy hour already. They said, let's go bowling this time. And I was like, let's go. We've been to Top Golf. We go drinking. I love
that. All sound like money that we wasn't spending in 2020. All right. When the world shut down, so did my pockets. And everything went into a high yield savings account. Okay.
I still had to buy coffee. I still had to buy.
Oh my God. I didn't do none of that. Everyone's like, when you're seeing me traveling today, I just picked it out of my savings. That's it. Just let's go.
And adding an additional day in the office, that was a lot. That's a lot of more money. And then my coworker was like, "Oh, are you guys gonna pay us for this extra? Are you guys gonna give us a cost of living increase?
Not pay us for having to spend more money to go here." That's an actual valid point.
Did you know companies do that? I think they did it in New York. Like, our New York office got a cost of living raise.
Wow. Wait a minute.
I don't know why they ain't do it in Florida. Like, come on, please.
Because they don't think our cost of living went up.
I don't know what the problem is, but I'm gonna remind him in the next meeting. Like, I remember my manager was saying something about some people are just doing this for the money. Everyone's doing this for the money.
That's the reward. Everyone wants the reward of being paid. I
was like, I'm a business owner, and I know if I hire somebody, they're not gonna care about my business. They care if the money is being deposited when it said it was being deposited.
Yeah, if they're not doing it for experience, or if they're not doing it because they just truly love it, they're doing it for money. Even if it's for
experience, the experience is to get more money.
Ooh.
The experience is to get more money. All right, let's not be delusional.
That's exactly why I did my internship. That is true.
I was talking to my one-on-one, and I sat there and I thought about it because he's like, "Oh, some people are doing this for the money." Sir, you have a family.
You have to be doing this for the family.
Are you doing this for fun?
Are you doing this because you love it? I'm doing this because I love it.
He said it on the Teams this morning. Somebody said, that's why they pay you the big bucks. He said, I'm not getting paid the big bucks. I was not, I couldn't answer because I was driving to work late, so I didn't answer it. But if I did have time, I would have told him, hey, you better make sure you get paid the big bucks. What are you talking about?
Ask. Be delusional.
Delusional.
Be delulu. Welcome to Delulu land. At Delulu land, we ask for what we want. We ask for more than what we want.
And he said this has happened. Oh, all these turnovers has happened before, and I've had to do this. You better, first of all, if you don't make six figures right now, you better go find somewhere else to work. You better be the next turnover.
Be like, turn over, sir. Turn over and ask for that 6 figures.
Are you crazy?
So delusion is a great personal growth strategy. I will say that. It is a great way to do your own personal development. Mm-hmm. Again, if you have people riding on your back and they're sitting on your shoulders, delusion might not be for you. If you got kids, you got a family, delusion might not work for you. But you never know. If you stepped into Delulu land, you never know what would happen. All I know is, at least from my personal experience, delusion played out in my favor.
I also want to say that you can be delusional and then you realize that this thing is not for you. And that's okay.
Yeah, and you can go back to complacency. It's fine.
Everything is not going to work out
how you anticipate.
How you want it to. No matter how much your friends want to support you. Let me tell you what my friends did. They encouraged me to spend $500, right? Invest $500 at a vendor event, right? For me to get a vendor table and to try to sell things. And let me tell you something. They were like, oh, yeah, all you got to do is sell 20 shirts and you'll make it back and you're da-da-da-da. And let me tell you what, I have all these goddamn shirts in my house that I'm trying to get rid of, that I don't want. And I sat there and I didn't make a sale or nothing.
Damn, your friends aren't business owners.
I made way more money at that networking event the day before, the free networking event the day before, than I did at spending $500 on inventory, spending $500 on the vendor fee, spending $500 on all that extra stuff.
You listen to, they got business?
No.
Man.
So it's not always gonna work.
Listen, business owners,
in your favor.
Balance out your decisions with business owners. No offense to your friend who may work for business development at Lockheed Martin. They don't own Lockheed Martin. They are helping Lockheed Martin make more business decisions. Talk to business people, because business people will humble you real quick. Ciroc come to me all the time. I'd be like, that's not a good idea.
And while I'm saying that, make sure y'all go to Dashlux and buy the rest of these damn shirts, because I'm tired of seeing them.
There's a service. Okay? There's some free services.
I print shirts, and I was like, making my own shirts for this event didn't make any sense, especially when there was like 8-9 other T-shirt vendors at this event.
Were you acting out of delusion when you made that decision?
No, I was. People were,
you were trying to be strategic,
supporting me.
Aww.
Oh, they support. Yeah, of course. You're definitely selling 20 shirts. Those are fire. They're gonna go like hotcakes. No, they did not go like hotcakes. Okay, unless the hotcakes is, where's a place that don't really sell a lot of pancakes?
So realistically,
like hotcakes at Burger King.
Oh damn. Oh, hotcakes are pancakes, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Waffle House.
No, they be buying waffles at Waffle House. I'm talking about like a place they don't sell, like hotcakes at Ross.
Oh, okay.
At the Dollar Tree.
Okay. You know
what I mean?
Okay.
Like nobody's buying hotcakes.
I think
the hotcakes was cold.
I think if there's any insight I can say from that is, usually being a vendor is a great way to build brand visibility, not necessarily to make sales. Like the purpose is for like you to get like a huge influx of people, and then hopefully you can convert them into buyers. but it's usually about building like visibility amongst your brand.
Child, it didn't make any sense because my target audience were the vendors at the event. So I shouldn't have gotten a vendor table. I should have just went to the event.
Right.
I should have just bought the ticket and went to the event. But my friends are like, you should definitely do it. It's great.
Yeah.
It's a great
You got to listen to business owners. I'm telling you, business owners would knock you down. So now you kind of like leaning into like self-awareness because you became self-aware after you realized like you had to go to the event. When you got there, you're like, yeah,
$500 self. You don't want to spend $500 to realize it.
Right. Vendor. I say this all the time. I feel like people prey on small businesses because small businesses should not be forking out $500 to sell something that's worth $20. I don't think you should have been their target audience. Like the same event that you went to, the company that I suggested makes $1 million, and that makes sense because losing $500 is like losing $1 to them.
That reminds me, didn't I tell you there was that business that was prying on the small business, telling them that they can use their space for like $500 or something like that. They're like, oh, if they book 4 places, then that's gonna be $500 right there. And I'm gonna lose money. But I was like, you don't know if they're gonna book 4 people.
That's praying. People. One thing I've gotten from the 2020 economy or the economic instability that came as a result of COVID is that people became relentless and were just going after the underdog because the underdog doesn't know any better. And they just made it a point to be like, I'm going to tax you simply because I think you're going to make more money than I am. And that's not really how business works. Business doesn't work to where you charge a service because you think someone's going to make more money off of the service. You charge the service because of what you think you want to make for the work that you're doing.
I think it's more of you know how they say that the lower and middle class spend the most money, and one is I feel like they're preying on the people that do take the risk, right? And because people are in such dire situations, they will make these like
risky decisions.
Yeah, these rash decisions. And so that is what they're hoping on, because other companies, they need to make sure they need to think about it, this and the other. But if you tell me, hey, you should do my service, or like you should pay me this much because it's the quality, or you need this to make something else, like you telling them that this is an investment, that this is gonna like pan out for you, which if things may pan out for you and things may not pan out for you.
It's not statistically accurate. But if you're banking
on people's like hopes and dreams, like they're more likely to spend the money. You feel me? Like if you say, hey, this is your way out of here, this is your way to financial freedom, and it's $100, $200, or even like these ebooks.
I'm a marketer.
$15.
It's called persuasion. They're persuading you,
and they're pulling on your
heartstrings.
They're pulling on your financial
to take your money. What is it? Somebody had asked me to help them try to find a business coach, and I was like, business coaches are free by the government, right? And they were like, yeah, but this person, she helped 25 of her students make 6 figures. I said, I'm gonna be the one to tell you, if 25 people made 6 and 7 figures, our economy would not be this bad. Y'all all telling me you're millionaires. Why do we not have money in this country if you're all millionaires? If every single one of you guys say you make 6 figures and you make 7 figures, and I'm telling you, the entire internet is saying they make 6 and 7 figures. If all of y'all make 6 and 7 figures, why is the United States broke?
First of all, 25 out of how many?
Right.
Because to be to make a lot of money, you gotta screw over.
You gotta scam somebody.
Somebody's getting
Somebody.
scammed.
You know how y'all was like, Rihanna's a billionaire. Rihanna's brand is not actually by Rihanna. It's owned by Louis Vuitton.
Okay.
Louis Vuitton do a lot.
Them churches be buying private jets.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but they be buying private jets, but the AC still broken.
Right.
You
Right.
hear me?
Right. So when they told me that, I was just like, so essentially they were telling me that to change my strategy, because that's what that person said, because they helped 25 people make 7 figures. And I was like, I don't listen to Instagram people who conflate decision making based on the extra amount of zeros they have, because they're saying it so that they can make 7 figures. Not.
Also, social media is not a real place.
It's not a real place. So when you see me drop a course and I say to you, I make 5 figures, I'm being real with you. What the hell? Well, I'm not going to tell you I'm going to make you a 7-figure earner. That's none of my business. I'm supposed to get you off the slumps and you figure the rest out. Why am I going to sit here and tell you I'm going to make you 7 figures by posting 4 days a week?
Well, that you telling me you're gonna make me make 7 figures is gonna make me more likely to buy your stuff.
That's the point. It's called persuasion.
It's called persuasion.
Listen, I believe in community, and I believe if you trust it, you're going to buy
a
it.
little chilly in here. Go ahead.
She says get a little chilly. I believe that. Anemic ass.
I am.
I feel like people need to understand that when you're making decisions about being an entrepreneur, it's all about your decisions to be self-sustainable and to promote growth. And again, everyone is doing whatever it takes for them to make more money. It's a dog eat dog world right now. Like they're chewing things alive. Their prices are going up. Life is hard to live, and yeah, you're gonna charge whatever you got to so that you can make it out. It's a weird economy right now, and it's challenging. And it's crappy. Like, even with like houses, I don't know if you guys know, but like houses in the 1950s were valued at like $11,000.
Somebody made the comparison for millennials, and it was like buying a house in 2013. So let's say you were buying a $300,000 house.
It's actually valued in the 80,000s
now.
Yeah,
compared to now.
That's the real price that it should have been. They
were showing that back then you would probably got a 2.5% interest. Now, the lowest is probably like around 6-7, and so it showed that for interest you'd probably pay like 15. I don't remember the math, but it was like maybe like 6 figures interest or whatever, or 4-figure interest. And then now with the interest, you're paying about like 50% more. So that the $3,000 house, you're paying like $150 in interest or something like that. It was crazy. So you actually end up spending way more on the house,
right?
In general,
but also like the older generation, they pretty much screwed us because they bought these properties for less than $50,000. And it's being resold today for $500,000 and up. So these people have...
I'm so mad.
They bought their properties for $11,000.
They let my grandpa sell a three-story with a basement in New Jersey. They let him sell it so that they can put him in a nursing home. And I was just like, y'all could have gave me that house. Y'all could have gave somebody that house.
Yeah, you should be able to pass that down.
That house. That was a multi-family house.
Yeah.
Me and my dad lived in the basement. There was 2 bedrooms in the basement, a kitchen, a living room.
It should have been
2 bathrooms.
It should have been passed down.
In the basement by itself. In the attic, I had my aunt and uncle, 2 bed, 2 bath. Upstairs in the attic. And there was 2 more floors with rooms and bathrooms.
They just wanted the money.
And y'all let him sell it and put him in a nursing home. I was like, y'all are a waste of your generation.
But yeah, so that goes to show that like being that we're being gouged gouged to live in this world. I don't know how much higher it's going to be. Cars are valued at $300,000 now. Like, it's insanity. So you have to be able to be self-aware and kind of like adopt a specific mindset. And this is outside of entrepreneurship. Like, this should be like displayed in your own personal life. When you are making decisions, you need self-awareness. Here's where the issue comes in. Self-awareness takes emotional intelligence. And we know you guys weren't taught emotional anything.
There's a specific gender.
Oh, God. See, this is why they think that we are a man-bashing podcast.
There's a specific gender that don't think that emotional intelligence is intelligence. Okay? They think, oh, you're not thinking logically, you're thinking emotionally.
The wild thing about logic is that it actually doesn't exist. It's based on your worldview. It's based on your environment. And so when you make a decision because the people who raised you told you that this is a value and a belief. But it is not logic. Logic is the book. None of you guys go based on books. Every decision you make is actually based on emotion. It's bad reactions, but you're making decisions based on emotion. Remember when my ex used to be like, it's the principle of things. What principle? Whose principle? Where'd you get it from? Who taught you that?
Elementary school. The principal.
Your principal.
Yeah, that's what the principal.
What principle? It's principle. You know, like when I cook food, apparently when I cook the food, I should be serving it. I should be picking up the plate, and I should be washing it. That's the principle. That's not how my mama raised me, though.
That's not my principle.
That's not my principle. My mom taught me that I wash my dishes.
Oh, whoever didn't cook cleans.
Whoever didn't cook cleans. Ou pas te faire manger, ou pas chita là, ou pas défend rien, ou pas faire rien, ou pas faire rien. Et chita gade télévision.
Yeah.
Vin lave vaisseau yo.
Rate boudao.
Oui, vin lave vaisseau yo. That's what I was taught. So you telling me it's the principle because you were given a silver spoon. You were fed and then they washed it for you. And then they took your plate and I witnessed it in front of me. It was actually very interesting. I went to his house. His grandma and his mom was there. His mom cooked the food. His grandma was like cleaning up the kitchen. They brought him his food in front of him. And then he got up to get me my food. Then he finished eating it. His grandma came and took his plate, washed his dishes and everything. And no one came to pick up my plate. Mind you, I'm the girlfriend, I'm the guest.
Yeah, but you ain't the man.
And so I had to get up and go bring them my dish. I also washed my dish and put my dish away.
And I would have told them that you know that I paid for your pissy grandson.
Your pissy grandson rent. You know he drives my car, not yours.
Ooh, Jesus Christ. I'm joking. We're joking. We're submissive. Submissive. Take my car.
What was me?
Take my car. I can't drive.
Borrow it to go fuck other bitches.
Oh my gosh. Whoosh.
Please.
Yeah, but I don't like that people don't think emotional intelligence is a thing, because emotional intelligence is definitely I think it's a strength, because when you're making your quote unquote logic decision, you also have to think about how it affects everybody,
other people's emotion,
how it affects you, especially if it's like your family or somebody that you're supposed to be what's the opposite of submissive? What are your submissive people?
Dominant, leading.
What would a man call his slave? That he says that it's submissive.
His slave. I don't know. I'm thinking about this.
You're a slave. If you want your girl to be
my mind went
right?
so right. It was like BDSM, slave, dad. What?
No. Men want women to be submissive. So you're a slave, whatever you want to call it, right? You have to think of your slaves,
mistress,
and your children.
Yeah.
So your slaves' children, because those are your children.
This is not in context to actual historical slavery.
Oh yeah.
Please don't come for us.
Yeah, because you'd rather be a slave than die, right?
It's better to be a slave than to be killed.
By the way, guys, this podcast is in Florida. This podcast is in Florida, so you'd rather be a slave than die.
Yeah, if you are in Florida, you will understand what's happening. If you're not, you're probably like, damn, yeah, no, this is actually education that's being taught to children today.
Yeah, so
in Florida,
the insider is that Florida's new history of slavery is that slavery was better than
being killed.
I
have so many.
Killmonger said that bondage, that death was better than bondage. So I don't think they watched Black Panther, but we should probably show DeSantis.
Give them a history lesson.
Let's send Black Panther to DeSantis.
Send him a DVD, Blu-ray.
I'm sure there's a gift. I mean, y'all do what y'all do on Twitter X. You know, tag him and put the gif of Killmonger dying, killing himself because he don't want to be in bondage. So that's just the insider.
Yeah, just so you know, that's what that means. Yeah. That's
where I'm going with that. But yeah, emotional intelligence. You have to think of your family's like you're responsible for their happiness.
Yeah.
Of your slaves.
Let's think about what emotional intelligence actually is. So it's the ability to make decisions based on what people are actually feeling. Now, I know that you guys think that feelings are just words
or just anger.
But feelings actually are sadness, happiness, anger, frustration. I know y'all love to be like, oh, I'm not mad. Mad is still angry. Angry is still frustrated. Frustrated is still upset. They all fall under the same emotional category.
If you're still a little confused, there's a movie.
It's called Inside Out.
Inside Out.
It's my favorite movie. I use that as a reference to anybody who has emotional damage.
Yes.
Okay.
So please watch
it.
Out.
It'll teach you. It'll actually teach you that like sadness is not bad.
Let's play a little game.
What's the game?
Let's play a little game. You got 1 minute to convince these Neanderthals.
Watch this.
To watch Inside Out.
So for those who are watching this episode for the first time, we have a segment called Watch This. And Watch This is where we have to convince somebody, you, but also whoever triggers the game.
Yeah.
To convince you to watch a popular TV show or a movie.
Yeah.
So I have 1 minute to convince you guys to watch Inside Out.
Convince the Neanderthals watching.
Okay, I don't even need a minute.
You gonna need a minute?
No, I don't even need a minute. Let's go.
Okay.
I don't even need it. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
So it's a cartoon, right? And each cartoon character represents a different type of emotion inside of the brain of this little girl. And the little girl is navigating life, and she's like different emotions are working in her head, and they're just showing you how emotions work in the mind of, I think she had to be under the age of 10. And so we get to the part where her emotions are going insane. They're all over the place. They don't know what to do. They've lost sadness. They've lost anger. Anger's getting even more angry because they can't find sadness. And then we get to the point of the movie where sadness is just like, move the fuck out the way and let me figure this shit out. And sadness comes in and she makes the little girl sad. She takes a break. She rests. She doesn't do anything. She relaxes. She's sad. She takes a break. She relaxes, whatever. And then the next day, everybody else, all the emotions are calm. They're cool. They're collective. And they come back together. And boom. All things are great.
I could have sworn Joy went to go find sadness. And so she was not feeling joy.
I have a minute. I skipped it.
I feel like that was one. I feel like you should have put Pixar in there because it's like a Pixar movie.
Why did she not tell me that I had to convince her? Is this thing on?
I feel like that would convince y'all because
is
y'all
this thing on?
Y'all listen, because if you're watching a Disney movie, there's one thing you're watching a Disney movie. There's another thing if you're watching a Pixar.
Well, Pixar is a Disney movie.
Yeah, but a Pixar movie and a Disney movie is different.
I don't feel like telling you Pixar would have convinced you. It's the fact.
Let me know if Pixar would have convinced you. Because there's one thing in Disney, because like Moana is Disney, Disney princesses.
But Disney is Pixar. I mean?
But Pixar movies specifically, Pixar Disney movies specifically.
I feel like the only Pixar movie that really convinced me to watch it was The Incredibles. No matter what happens, I'm going to watch that.
Yeah, but Monsters Inc.
Yeah, you're talking about our generation.
Yeah.
The new Pixar movies, there's plenty of them that we don't watch.
Wreck-It Ralph.
There's Wreck-It Ralph is still
Red Panda Red. You didn't watch the Panda movie? But you ain't watch
Kung Fu Panda?
No. Red Panda? Is it Red Panda?
What are Pixar? Name Pixar movies. Shoot.
Is Disney Turning Red?
Nope.
You didn't watch Turning Red?
Nope. It's on Netflix too.
Oh Jesus! It's on Disney Plus.
Nope, I ain't see it. Wow. I saw Coco. I didn't watch Soul. I'm sorry. I know.
I'm never not on your mind.
I didn't saw Soul.
Oh my.
I didn't see it.
My.
I said ball.
I'm never not by your side. Your side. Your side.
Don't know the reference.
I'll never not make you cry.
What is this?
Oh, cry.
This is about.
Don't cry.
Who's this?
I'll never not be your ride.
No.
Or die.
Sorry.
All right.
No.
You better watch Turning Red.
22 versus Earth Loop. Wow. I'm going to keep it real with you. I ain't see all this stuff. I seen Jerry's Game. That was cool. Mordo. Never seen it. The Legend of Mordo.
Look.
La Luna.
Soul. You didn't watch Onward? You didn't watch Coco?
No, I did. I did watch Coco. La Coco. I did. Inside Out, I've seen. Cars, I've seen. Up, I've seen. Luca, I haven't. Ratatouille, I have. Turning Red, I haven't. Lava, I haven't. Us Again, I haven't. Oliver and Company, I haven't. Boudin, I haven't. Heffalump, I have. Soul, I haven't. Nope. One Man Band, nope. Tigger, yes.
Somebody lock her up.
That comes to show you that Pixar isn't a precursor to watching an animated film.
Do you have Disney Plus?
Yeah.
And you ain't just go on because I went on a binge. I watched Turning Red. Turning Red was amazing.
I just watched Disney movies.
Onward was amazing. Soul? You saw Soul?
You know, I also like to bring to your awareness that I don't have the emotional, mental capacity to leave work and binge watch stuff. It gotta be addicting.
I'm gonna convince you because I literally be sitting like I watched when I got Disney Plus. The first thing I did was watch the cinematic universe.
I just feel like it's just too much. The first thing I did was watch the cinematic universe. I watched all of them, but I didn't go into Pixar. I didn't go into Discovery. I didn't go to Animal Planet. I didn't do any of that.
Well, I don't know about Animal Planet, but Pixar should convince y'all because if it's between Moana and like Toy Story. Like you gonna watch Toy Story? Toy Story is Pixar.
I'm probably gonna choose Moana too. I like Moana.
I love Moana. Did you not see? I've been a beautiful daughter, but I still come back to the water. No matter how hard I try. Yo, I love that song. But I love Moana. But I feel like maybe Pixar is a little bit more friendly to the Neanderthals. Cause like I feel like Disney is more like magic and like I feel like men would think it's a little bit more feminine like I'm not gonna watch Moana. I'm not gonna watch
because it's a little bit more masculine because they do have
more unisex.
Yeah, it is unisex. That's true.
So like
that's
Toy
true.
Story it could be for both boys and girls. Monster Inc. can be for boys and girls. Onward, Soul, those are like unisex kind of movies, and I feel like Disney is a little bit more like magical, and I feel like men don't like magic.
I don't know. I feel like Disney will always have a heart. I'm not saying. Listen. I didn't say it. I ain't say that.
Stop trying to cancel stuff.
You deserve magic, okay? All right,
the production company need to get paid. Dog.
You deserve the beautiful magic of Disney. I don't think that you don't need to watch it. But I didn't convince The Rock. Basically, that's what it sounded like.
Should have said Pixar. I watched Inside Out, but that's because it was Pixar and it was on Disney Plus.
So what would have convinced you? I had to say Pixar. Boom.
1, you had to say Pixar. 2, that girl lost her joy. Joy was gone. Like looking for sadness. That girl fell into depression. Okay. And y'all can relate to depression. You see, when I do my 1 minute thing, I gotta relate to y'all.
But sadness sadness did get lost.
Yeah, but so did joy.
But they needed the sadness. That's why joy went missing.
Yeah.
The point of the movie is that sadness is not a bad emotion to feel. It had nothing to do with joy.
Yeah, but joy was trying to make her feel joyous, but like she had the memories.
But joy was the villain.
I hear you.
Joy's the problem.
Well, tell them the joy
that they keep chasing joy and running away from sadness.
It gotta be drama, okay? Joy was ruining stuff.
Joy was the villain.
And she kept trying to fix it with the memory cores, but she kept making the
things worse.
That used to be joyous.
Sad
and angry and depressed.
Right.
And that girl moved.
See, emotional intelligence. No, but that would have taken more than 1 minute to say all of that.
I think you should have went maybe that round. I mean, once you said Pixar, I'm intrigued.
Right. Okay. So saying Pixar would have got you there. So emotional intelligence. Watch Inside Out because it's a great. I always lean people towards children's movies because I feel like they really do a great job at explaining things in the most bare minimum. You know, you guys, when it gets complicated, for some reason your mind gets aloof. And then you get mad because you don't know, because you don't understand it. You're like, you're saying things like scrupulous. And I don't understand that word. That's a big word for Elmo.
Listen, that's AI.
You're like, why are you using that word? Just say nice. Just say delicious. Say good. Right? And you get mad because you don't know what the word scrupulous means.
It's AI.
It's AI. It's AI. So build your emotional intelligence. So that you can have self-awareness. So that you can have the proper mindset. So that you can operate not only in your everyday life, but also as an entrepreneur. Usually, delusion allows for you to have all of that.
Also, I guess that's another episode for another time. Not everybody can be an entrepreneur. I know sometimes it looks a little like lavish, but we be struggling out here, okay? Well, you know, maybe not Shirley, but the rest of us.
Successful business because I can pay $85 for a conference.
You know, I mean, I could pay $85 for my day job. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know why that lady said that, but you can't unsay it. You can't take it back.
I mean, I have good months, and sometimes I can pay $85.
That's exactly what entrepreneurship is. You wake up one day and you're like, bitch, I'm rich. And then you're like, shit.
Yeah, but
I can't pay my phone.
The rest of us, it's not, you know, entrepreneurship, it's up and down. Sometimes you got it, sometimes you don't got it. Sometimes you got to change your strategy up. Sometimes you can't do the same thing that you was doing last month that made you this much money. Sometimes you got to be creative and you got to do something else, and that may cost you more money to do the new thing. For example, like I'm in the process of like separating something, and now I got to start a whole new business with a whole new business name, and I got to get new business cards, and I got to have a new website. Like, sometimes things can't go together. Sometimes you got to drop something to do something else. Like I had to drop taxes because I was like, I can't do taxes, compa, podcasts, t-shirt printing, crafting. Like that's way too much. Like relax.
Usually you have to get like stability in one area, and then like starting multiple businesses get easier. I don't know if y'all know, Jay-Z don't got one business. That man has 17 businesses. This is like I always say that I never really had an inspiration in life, but I do, and it's Issa Rae. Issa Rae, y'all think she only has Insecure? Issa Rae
just opened her 4th coffee shop.
Just opened up her 4th coffee shop, and it was the coffee shop that you saw in Insecure. I'm telling you, once you get your footing into one door of entrepreneurship, everything else starts to become a smooth transition because you've got all the kinks out in your first business. Like my first business was, I believe, selling books and reselling broken phones. That was my first business idea. Yeah.
When you did that?
I did that my freshman year.
I ain't never heard that. I never heard that.
Yeah. I used to buy books. I would buy my books and I would bring it back to the bookstore, and they would tell me it's like $40, and I'd be like, nah, I bought this book for $300 and I only used it twice in the past 2 months. You can't tell me this book is $40. And then eBay had this one book reselling version. It used to be eBay and then eBay whatever. eBay Books. It's not called Books, but it had a different name. And I would put it on there and I would make like $250.
Chegg.
No, it was something that's before Chegg. Before Chegg. Chegg, eBay bought Chegg, but it was something else before Chegg. And I resell books, and then I used to break my phone a lot. Like, my phone was always broken. I don't know why. Like, I had an Evo, and I bought the Evo, and it broke in like 3 months. And I would be like, oh, am I going to bring it back to the store? And they're like, we'll give you $20. And I was like, that's crazy. And I'd bring it back. I'd go to eBay, and I'd get parts. Like, I'd sell it for parts for like $200. So then I call people and be like, do you need to sell something? And they'd be like, yeah, I got this and this and that. And I would buy it from them and resell it. I'd buy it cheap. I'd buy it from them for $20 and I'd flip it for $200.
Interesting. My first business is, so y'all can transfer y'all phone numbers and pictures and stuff between phones. And I used to work at Metro, and I used to charge y'all $10, and I did it by myself, Bluetooth it.
Nice. Nice. There's this guy that I met who owned the olive oil shop, and he said to me, it's so strange, he was a photographer. He did nature photography. He lived in the Okeechobee, the Lake Okeechobee. He lived in a little house in the middle of Lake Okeechobee, and he took photography of the Okeechobee waters, the animals, the plants, and he just resold it. And he said he, out of delusion, he was laying in the house getting bit by mosquitoes, and he got up and said he's going to open an olive oil shop. And he went to this olive oil shop in another city, another state, and he like learned from them. And then he opened up his olive oil shop, got a vendor that was in the Middle East, whatever, learned all he could about olive oil. Now he makes $1 million, but he learned all he could about olive oil. And he just opened it up in an area that didn't have anything. Like Mount Dora didn't have anything at the time. And it's one of the most popular places to buy anything. Like people go to Mount Dora, they look around, and they randomly go into the olive oil shop. And then he tells you all this stuff, and you buy it because you're like, it's healthy, right? And he knows so much. I bought the olive oil. He knows so much about it, you buy it.
Did you know if you're racially ambiguous, you can sell stock photos and you probably make the most money because they always want somebody who's racially ambiguous?
Interesting. They want to be diverse. Got it.
So if you're racially ambiguous or you have like a interracial family or something,
wow,
you can sell stock photos.
That's interesting.
Like the ones that when you go to the Dollar Tree and you just buy a frame and there's just a stock photo in there. That could be you.
Yes.
Be delusional.
So he also, now he's even more delusional. He's gonna buy the next building next door to him, and he's gonna sell tea in the olive oil shop, because people who like buying real olive oil are more than likely to buy real tea.
That's funny. Supa bought the house next door from her house just to have it. But
yeah.
I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, I was like, what?
She said, I'm going to my new house, and literally like walked
over
outside and went
she did.
Door.
She did. So he's like, I'm gonna start selling tea, and I'm gonna buy the tea from the same vendor in the Middle East, and I'm going to make another $1 million. And I was like, what? So he said, I think that every person, when they turn 18 years old, should be given the keys to start a business, because every person should have a business, because it's not actually as hard as it seems. Now, this is when I get racist. He is a white man.
Wow.
Okay. So white men have all the tools to go from being a photographer who take pictures of animals to running an olive oil shop. But yeah, he thinks that every person should be given a $5,000 investment to start a business, and he feels like things would be easier if we just let everyone be able to start a business, whether they run it into the ground or whatever. He thinks that everyone should be given the opportunity to start a business.
I don't think everybody should be getting the keys to run a business, because not all of y'all are built for it. Okay,
but he didn't know that he wasn't built for it. He took pictures of animals.
Yeah, but
in a house that he got bit by mosquitoes.
Okay, but I mean, he's also one, Caucasian. Okay, and two, a lot of y'all are not delusional enough to ask for what you need to be asking.
That's true.
For.
That's true. That's
okay?
true. That's true.
So,
that's
and then
true.
Three, it's a lot of work. Like a lot of people are like, I guess, glamorizing it, and I think it might be the people that have their systems in place. Like me, I don't have my systems in place.
Right. I 100% make entrepreneurship. I glamorize the hell out of it, but that's because I finally got my systems.
Yeah, she has her systems in place, and so I've been doing my business just in my head, sole proprietorship, but now I'm thinking about getting my systems.
Okay,
in place.
but look. That's why it's glamorous. You go from the moments where you don't know what the heck you're doing, And then you wake up and you're like, if I do this,
well, I knew what the hell I was doing for just what I like, for the capacity of what I had going on. And so now that, to be honest, like just being around Shirley, I was like, you know, I want to scale too. I want to like make it bigger than it is and have systems in place to kind of make it automatic instead of me having to, it's me taking the orders, it's me doing this, it's me making the website, it's me marketing, it's me doing every single thing. Because when you first start your business, you are everything. You are the marketer, you are the person that is the assistant, so you're taking all the calls, you're taking all the emails, you're doing all, you're making all the content, you're making everything lies on you. And it's gotten to the point where, like, I can barely do anything. I love playing video games. I have not played video games in a minute. I had a meeting with my personal assistant, and she's taking care of some stuff. I had time to play Stardew Valley. You
know what the greatest business lesson I've ever learned was firing yourself. Because the moment you fire yourself, you free up room for other people to do the jobs that you have to go learn how to do, that you have to be consistent in doing, that you have to have knowledge on doing. And it takes too much of a capacity to do everything for your business. It literally, like, you kind of burn yourself out trying to do everything.
You know what's funny? In my 9 to 5, my whole thing is work smarter, not harder. If I have to do more work, I don't want to do it.
I say it all the time. If I was like, man, if I got to work harder, it's not gonna be done.
Yeah, I don't want to work harder. I love that my job is like half remote, and I definitely put 100% in a majority of the time. But the fact that I have freedom, I have, like, you know, I don't have to work overtime. Like, I try to make sure I don't have to work overtime, that I learn everything that I need to learn to make this the systems easier for me. I do that. Like, I put things in my notes that make it easier, so I don't. But have it's to also go because searching for certain.
You have someone who's managing you, though. That's why it's when it comes to, like, one thing with like work with entrepreneurship, you lose that support.
I think not in my job, because I feel like the job that I'm doing right now, I'm in the middle of a conversion, so nobody knows what the hell they're doing.
No, but I mean, there's still the CEO who you could not have operated that bank by yourself.
I mean, I can't operate the bank by myself, but my job, like my job description and what I have to do, I make sure that I know it to a T to make it easier for me to find problems, for me to solve problems, for me to, if I need to book something or whatever, I have my notes.
But that's the point. In your business, you don't have that one job. Yeah. You're IT, you're the engineer.
Yeah, but
you're the marketer.
Yes. Yeah. So it's kind of like now I'm trying to take that, what I do in my job, and kind of apply it to my business, because I've never really, I mean, I've worked smarter, but I'm trying to work way more smarter than I was working before. Because like even in my job, yes, I have systems or whatever, but nobody, for my specific job description or what I do or whatever, like I want to make sure that is that's easy for me. Like that's nothing.
So it's the same thing with like your entrepreneur or your business, your sole proprietorship. Like so you want to make it.
I can do easy. All of my work. Like I do recons, and I can literally do all of my work on a Monday and be clear for the week.
So you have to apply, or at least for me, that's what I had to learn, because I've always been a sole proprietor, and this is like my first time moving up into a space where I have people who are my sole proprietors, and I'm, overseeing a group of people who make my business easier. I'm still technically doing a lot of my work, but I just delegate a lot. So like taking a leadership role rather than being the employee. And once I got to that, what got me there was learning that when I looked at the job that I had before, they all had systems that made my job as a therapist easier, right? So she had to hire she hired 5 assistants, and each assistant had 3 therapists to manage, and they manage our books, our scheduling, all of that. I could not have made it doing what those 5 assistants do.
Facts.
I wouldn't have been able to develop they develop an Excel spreadsheet where we put our availability, what we do want, what we don't want. I would have never came up with that process. I would have never been able to do the insurance panels. I would have never been able to go to events and convince them to hire me I would have never been able to do any of that. So then once I looked at that, I was like, you know what? That's an actual plausible business model. And not necessarily how they generate revenue, but how they model their business. I was like, in what way can I channel that to make my business easier? Started off with interns. I was like, hey, I ain't got no money. Just started. Let's get some interns who want to dip into my brain. The people who keep saying, hey, Shirley, I want to pick your brain. Join my company. You can pick my brain whenever you want. Work for me. Pick my brain every meeting. I got you. And that's kind of like how the process streamlined. But again, that took a lot of mindset changes. I went through a period of self-growth and to be a little delusional.
And you still had to have the systems because those people had to follow the systems that you
put in place for them to be successful.
Where I'm at.
Yeah.
Because I have like a personal assistant, but of course I would want employees in the future. And so I need to start getting those systems in place.
Facts. So we're hoping that this is something that you guys can take with you as a sense of things for you to do that'll help you develop your skills, whether that's in your personal development or your professional development or your entrepreneurial journey. So if you have any insight for us, if you're one of those seasoned veterans, or you may have been someone who just started your business and you found something that's more productive and trying to navigate that journey, by all means comment that below or send us a DM and we'll talk about it.
And I think you guys have a lot of questions with businesses, so definitely drop them or message us, or we'll put the questions in
the poll.
The poll, or questions on our page, like on our Instagram
on the Instagram
page.
story. Yeah.
So definitely ask us if you have any specific questions or anything like that.
But thank you for listening. Don't forget to follow, subscribe to our YouTube, share the video with your friends, rate us, and also communicate with us, because we don't like talking to ourselves. We talk back.
I like talking to myself.
We talk back. That's also why we started a podcast, to talk to ourselves. It's absolutely insane to pull up a mic and talk to it and wait for people to reply later.
It's funny. Every time I try to talk to Shirley, she says, "Wait, let's talk about this on the podcast." So I can't even talk to Shirley until we record.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. New episodes of This Is Not That Pod drops every Tuesday on all podcast platforms and Thursdays on YouTube. So keep up with us by pressing that follow button.
We want to hear how much you're feeling us. So if you love the show, leave us a review. Be sure to read our show notes and tap around or click around to support our sponsors.